So this is our second hairstyle. So we're gonna do a lower bun. This style, it's one of our top requested styles that we have. So we make sure that the hair is clean and ready to go. First thing, you always want to part the front part. So we're gonna do two different partings. Remember, we have different clips. One, it will be the butterfly clip, and the other one will be the duck clip. Okay, so these ones have more pressure compared to the butterfly clips. So when we do the separations, we want the hair out of the face. So this will be one of them, and we'll go to our next session. After we do this sectioning, our next thing will be go on top of the ear side to side, and that'll be another of our parting. So we just want to make sure everything is clean, everything is neat when we're working with hair. Okay, you're gonna need a strainer. Most of the time when I do hairstyles, I just need the hair to be straight. Did you know that? The hair could be straight. You don't have to curl it. So once we grab the hair, we have this section. So this section is free. So now we want to leave 2 fingers out from each side. So what we'll be doing is we're gonna leave this part out. If you're not too familiar with working with hair, or you feel the hair it's on your way, you could always grab a duck clip and then just put pressure and let it be. So we grab our second part, and same thing, we grab a duck clip, and there we go. Now we have all these hair. Okay, with these hair, what we're gonna be doing, it's more like we're gonna put it on a ponytail. We could create one, or we could create two. My suggestion for you guys is to create 2 ponytails. That way the hair is more secure, and we know that the hair is not gonna go nowhere, or the hairdo won't fall down. So what we do is we brush the hair, we grab pomade, and that's just for it to be clean. Okay, so we grab and we put it close to the scalp. That's just gonna help us that everything will be in place. Then we'll need a combing brush, and then I'll brush the area that I'll be working on. Grab a rubber band and make sure that it's very tight to the scalp. If your ponytails are not tied to the scalp, what will happen is your hairdo could fall down, or it's not gonna resist the weight of all the hair. So once we have everything precise there, we grab another duck clip, put our first ponytail up, and then we create our second ponytail. We grab pomade, grab our brush, brush through, and make sure we grab rubber band, and make sure the rubber band is very tight, very secure. Okay, so then now we have two different ones. Okay, we're gonna be using a strainer, and you guys will need to add more ¿cómo se dice? Sorry. So you guys will need to add a donut. In this case, I cut my donut, so my donut looks like this because I don't need a full donut on. So this is pretty much for me to build on, and I don't need so much volume unless my client doesn't have too much hair and I have to work around it. Okay, put it like this, or I could just do this and it will be in between each of my ponytails. When you're working to secure your bun, you make sure the teeth are in the bottom and everything is secure. So you open up with your fingers. Make sure you don't put nothing on your mouth because that's not sanitary. And we want to put bobby pins all over the donut just to make sure that everything is in place and it's not gonna move. So you want everything to be very secure. So I'm just putting bobby pins all around it to make sure that it's very secure. Just remember that this part, it's very essential for the part that it won't move. So if this moves, your hairstyle will move. Okay. Once it's secure, the first part that we want to work on is our ponytail. So what I do, I grab my wax spray, separate it into two, and then I will strain my hair. And then just give it a slight bend at the ends so then it's not too straight. I'll brush the hair, and the first thing I do, I grab with my fingers so it's gonna be like a clip, and I'm gonna do a slide tease. Okay, this is gonna help me cover my donut, and then I just make sure I brush. So pretty much these will cover the whole thing. Okay, so once I'm here, I could either hold it and grab bobby pins. For me, it works perfect to have big hands. There's people that don't have big hands, so one of my suggestions will be for you guys to just add one of the duck clips, put it in here, and then work around it. So pretty much you will grab your bobby pins, you'll go straight across. And remember, all these bobby pins are between your donut and your ponytails that you created, so all the weight will hold in there. Once you're done, you can let go, and pretty much let go of the other part. Make sure that everything is very precise. If there's hair that it's moving, make sure you add bobby pins. So there's tons of bobby pins that we use for updos. So now you have your hair looking like this. We bring down our second ponytail. We brush through, add wax, once we add the wax, we strain again, and then we give it a light bend at the end. We brush it. If you want more volume, we could always add more volume. So just slight bend. And then these will help us cover everything once again. Okay. So the bottom part comes up, and then the top part comes down. Once it's in the bottom, I do a twist. So I could put my bobby pins, and I make sure that everything is very secure. Once I have this part ready, I make sure that everything looks good to me and it's not more on one side than the other. And if it does, I just move it. With the hair that I have left, I just leave it, don't touch it, and then I start working with one of the sides, okay? The other part, I will move it up. So what I will do, wax, grab my strainer, strain the hair, and then give it a light bend, brush through, and that's when we start creating dimensions on the hair. So I'll do the same thing on the other side. I'll grab apart the rest of it. I'm gonna move it out of the way, add wax. So pretty much the wax will give you a nice finish, and also you will have less flyaway, especially if you're doing any type of straining on this hairstyle. So on here, once we're here, we want to start creating dimension. By creating dimensions, I mean that we want to create a different patterns. So once we're here, we create a U. So pretty much it will look like this. Okay. So once you create your U, we will have to put this part up. If we will try to do a U here, it will look bad. So we always try to create the patterns that are gonna look good for our clients and for ourselves. We grab our pins and we just press them down. If you need to move anything or pull, you could always do it. Once you have it, you grab some hairspray, brush it through. Same thing we do on the other side. We create a U. You see, I have it where I move. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that they had that button in there. Yeah. Is there the whole time, or you, or actually you can't move that? There's no way.
No, you could do it without it.
It's harder.
Yeah, you just have to be more. This is an easy one. So we create the other U. Remember, we could always move this. Once we have the hair on the top, we could either bring it down, work around it, or we could just leave it for now till we find a different pattern. On our sides that we have left, we're not gonna be working on them yet, so these ones are gonna stay on the side. From your mid parting, we're gonna do a division that it's gonna be pretty much all your edges on both sides, and you could put it together with what you already have on there. So I'll adjust my pen and put all these parts together. We'll work with these after. Once we're here, we're gonna grab our hair and we're gonna create another ponytail. This ponytail is gonna help us hold the weight of our pieces that we're gonna be doing. So I'll put a rubber band here. Make sure that everything is tight and neat. And then once you have these ready, we go back with our wax. And we grab our strainer.
Damn, that thing's hot.
It is.
I literally heard that crunch.
It is. They're super hot. For our next session, we want to make sure that we already have our hair straightened, because after the tease we can't really do much. So we make sure we brush, grab, and straighten all the mid part. Just remember to leave the ends with the slide bend so your hair is not sticking out for your hairdo. So in this hairdo, your best friend would always be the wax. So make sure we just straighten this part, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be clean. Especially if you're working with people that have curly hair or they just have a lot of frizz. Once you have this ready, we will separate part of it. So I'll say 2 fingers. So 2 fingers have to stay away. This is pretty much what's gonna be covering our teeth. So we will grab duck clip. We'll do this. On here, we will start with our teeth. Put our hair up and we put pressure all the way down to the scalp. Grab hairspray, grab our curling iron that it's not on. Sorry, honey. Yeah. I know.
I seen another one that you use it like a push. So that's it, like make it like solid, or how is that?
On here, yeah. So you know how there's a lot of little hairs, like a lot of flyaways.
Do like a solid and
yeah.
Make it so solid?
Yes, and it's not as bad as this. I know.
So that's what you're saying, that you're gonna burn the shit out of it when you were doing that?
Because I had to put a lot of hairspray, so it does get burned. It's crazy. Okay, it's ready. So we add hairspray. So once we add the hairspray, when we do this with our curling iron, it's pretty much to get rid of the frizz, but it would also give us more a precise look on what we're doing, and we're able to see if we're going more on one side or the other. So remember, we always want it to have everything on the center. On our second parting, we do the same thing. We put pressure all the way to the scalp, and your teeth will depend on your client. How much teeth does your client want? Then we'll open, grab our hairspray, and go from there. For our last 2, we pretty much do the same thing. And this is more to repeat, and we make sure that everything is falling in the right direction. This will be our last session. Grab the hairspray. And then for our last part, we want to make sure that everything looks even and nice. Once this part is ready, we make sure we brush and we have the volume that we're looking for. For this part, you will need a rubber band and bobby pins to secure your bun. So on here, you grab a rubber band, grab your bobby pin, and add a different bobby pin on the other side. So you will have something that looks like this. Once you grab your bobby pin, we want to secure it. If you're right-handed, you're gonna hold with your right hand your middle finger, and you're gonna put your finger this way so you're able to grab the hair. Make sure that everything is nice and neat. You bring it all the way down and you don't let go with your left hand, and you're all set. Okay, this way we're able to move hair down all the time. We're able to change anything. Also, if there's more volume that we need to add, we could always do this and make it bigger or make it smaller. Once you're done, we grab hairspray and we put everything that sticks and holds in there. Okay. Now the part that we left, the 2 fingers, we could bring it down. That will cover your teeth and everything will look nice and neat. If you need to go back with your strainer, you could always go back with your strainer, so then everything could look nice and clean. I like to go back to the very top section because that's the one that it's gonna be showing the most. I add wax, grab my strainer, and then just strain upwards and then bring it down. Brush the hair back. And then it will be ready to go. And we could do the same thing. Grab 2 bobby pins and add a rubber band. So that way you do it again. Open your bobby pin, secure it. Once you're in there, with your left hand, middle finger, you grab, open up, bring it all the way to the other side, and once you have everything ready, you can let go on your right side. Once it's ready, we could start brushing, and we could pull hair so that way it could look nice and neat. Could add more wax. And then I just brush everything together and then let go. That way my teeth looks perfect. Make sure there's no big gaps in between, because if you have big gaps, it's gonna be hard to cover them. Once we have all these hair, now we could start working on fixing our how do I say that? Start on our so once we're here, we could start working adding the dimensions to the hair, and remember always to create a U. So you put the hair on your hair with your right hand, we start pulling, and then we start creating. Okay, for these hairdos, can I put it up instead of, yeah, because I feel like I'm like, yes. Voy a terminar toda cansada, Javi. I'll be like, oh, Javi no ajustó la cámara. Okay. You tell me when you're ready. So for this part, when you guys are ready, we're gonna grab some more wax. So we grab wax, grab our brush, brush through, and then we start creating our dimension. The other hair will stay on the bottom. We will grab our bobby pin and start putting the bobby pins. You guys could always go back and open more if you guys need to do so. We grab another section, we brush through the hair. That will help us open the hair more. We grab the wax and then we start grabbing as a U. We start fixing the hair. Remember, you could always go back, just make sure you're holding the right direction. On your next one, same thing, you brush, make sure you're grabbing enough hair. Not grabbing enough hair won't give you the same look. And I'll create another one going this way. And I just go back and open. So as you could see, I'm not even worrying about what I have to do next because I still have a lot of hair on the sides. From here, I make sure that I leave enough hair for one side and the other side, but on here I do want to incorporate part of the previous section that I had. From the middle, I'll brush, grab the hair, and bring it upwards. From here, what I would do, I would just hide my ends. And go from there. I still have two sessions to go. So on here, I'll add from my previous one, and I'll bring it up. What I would do, I will do it in the middle, so there's no show or where you started or where you're gonna end. We could always pull or bring down. In this case, we still have one down. We want to brush. We want to make sure that everything is nice and clean. So we're going to bring to the left. We're going to bring to the right. So for the next part, same thing, we add wax, brush the hair through, and we are gonna bring it down. Just make sure that everything looks good. I like using wax. You guys could use hairspray. For me, I just like the finish because everybody likes to have a hairdo that it's more flexible and it's not too stiff. And there I just sticked in the ends. So now I'm able to work with my sides. So I'm ready to work with these parts. So what I will do is first work with my top part. So what I will do is put wax. Add wax. Straighten this part. Go to the next part. Once we have this part ready to go, what we will do is brush and make sure we cover this area. So we will bring it all the way to your left. So these will cover, and like I said, you want your clients not knowing where you started or where you ended. We go back to our right side. We divide it into two, straighten the area. Straighten the area. And pretty much put everything together. We could divide it into two, or we could do one session. On here, what I would do, I would just spray more wax, and then I will start building. This will be my cover up. So I'll create an S. So as you could see, everything is covering on the side. So this is more what's gonna be visual to other clients, to everybody, that it's gonna be looking at your client. So once we're done, we could move forward with our next part. We brush, grab our hair, and we could start working. And we could do bottom, or we could do side. We could do different ways. It's more like where it will look better. So even if we do this, give us a different aspect. Could bring more down this part, and then eventually I'll fix to create dimension. And I could always open it up more. With the hair that I have on my left side now, I have to work on it so then it's not just there, or it's not on the way. Brush through. And then this one, I could bring it to the bottom and work my way up, or bring it this way. Then I just pull. Grab a bobby pin. Remember, all the bobby pins are going inside our donut. Now I'll work on my left side. And now straighten the whole area. Same thing as we did on the right side. So now that I'm done straightening this part, I'll do the same thing, do my cover up, brush my hair through, grab some wax, make sure that everything is nice and neat, and then I do my hair to the left side. Always remember to hide your pins so the pin will go under. So once we open the pin will go there and the hair will come down and people will know where the pins are. Once you secure everything, we could add some hairspray so that way everything is nice and neat. From here, bring our hair up. Grab some wax, brush through, and we make sure we put it in here. Sometimes I just use my brushes to hold the hair where I want it to go. And then I just add it. We remove that part and now we have the ends. The ends, you guys could always hide them inside and people won't know. They don't have to know, and you don't even have to use bobby pins just because they will get stuck in there. So we are almost done with half of it. We grab more wax, brush through, and then now we're gonna start working to cover our side. Make sure we create a U. We also could bring it back or just leave it there for now. Make sure that we're covering everything. And now we're gonna straighten both of the parts from the front.
You raise it up again or no?
Yeah, this thing keeps on falling on me. I don't know why. There. Like this part. So for our next part, we're gonna, same thing, add wax, and we are going to straighten our hair. I'll be grabbing a duck clip, add a little bit more, so then I get more precision. Grab a second session, and we're gonna do everything till we're on the top. I'm gonna spray here. For these one, we're doing mid parting, so the hair should be it should be part in the middle, and everything must be very straight. Once we're ready, we're able to work on our second part. If your client has bangs, we're gonna leave the bangs out, or if she wants front hair, we're gonna be working on leaving some hair on her face. So on this case, I'll be leaving hair on the front. I'll grab a diagonal line here, right?
Yeah.
And then I will start brushing. Make sure I don't have a lot of flyaways. Once we're done, we're gonna create our U. We're gonna make sure that everything looks nice and neat. We're gonna come back to our mid section, grab a bobby pin, put it in the hair, and we're gonna switch completely, and we're gonna add it. Wait, there we go. Do a 360 flip. Why isn't it doing this to me? Me quiere hacer quedar mal este peinado, Javi. We're gonna create our U. We're gonna grab a bobby pin. We're gonna do a 360 flip. Move towards the end. And then once we have it, we're gonna pin it. So now that we have our top part, we create our S. We bring down as much hair. You guys see how I'm holding it with my left hand. And I don't want to cover nothing that I have previously there already. And then I just keep on switching. And I feel like there will look good. So in the middle, what I could do, put my brush to hold it and see if I like it. If I like it, or if I need to adjust anything, I could always move it. I like the fact that it's giving me 3 different patterns. Grab hairspray. Grab a bobby pin. And I'll let it go. Now I'll do the second part. Make sure that you're leaving out your frontal hair. And we put wax. Creator S. And we're all ready to go. And then now I'll hide it in between. Go back, brush these parts. Hide it in there. Make sure everything looks good. Now I have these hair. I could start working with it or wait till we are done with the other part, since we're gonna have also more hair coming up. So we're gonna straighten this area. Make sure your hair is brushed really good. We do by sessions. Add wax. Okay, so we're done doing the second part of straightening. So same thing, we leave the hair out. So we leave a strand in the middle and one on the top. We create our diagonal line. We brush through hairspray or wax, wax. And we create our U. So we create our U. And that's gonna help us cover what we previously did. And I'll add it in the back of it so they won't know where it started or where it ended. If you're having a hard time, you could always put your brush, or there's the hair sticks that you could always use. Once you're done, you place your bobby pin and then you're ready to go. Now we have our second session. And we'll do the mid. Just trying to make sure that everything looks nice and neat without covering anything. I'll add it in there. Grab a bobby pin. Once this is done, now I could work with both sides. grab the wax spray, and then I'll add this on here. And now when it's done, and I just make sure I bring down so everything looks nice and neat. After, grab both of my sides, brush them together, and make sure everything looks nice and neat. For the other part, same thing, add a wax, brush through, and then I just bring hair down so everything covers any pins. Once you're ready to add hairspray, we add our hairspray, and whatever we have left on hair, we could always hide it. So once it's done, we will start working with the front. So what I like doing in the front, I like to tease this part a little bit, brush it through, grab hairspray, and then just give it some volume. So then that way the hair is out of the face and it doesn't look flat. So once that's done, grab some hairspray, and create some curls, and she'll be ready to go. These are one of our top ask low buns for brides, and we usually implement the veil in there. Some hairspray to the other part for the curls. Okay, so after I was done with my last curl, this is more to give it a frame on the face, so it depends on your client what they want. So sometimes clients want everything backwards, so we will use the same thing but without leaving any hair in the front. Also, it's very important, you could do the veil in the top part or you could do the veil on the bottom, however your bride choose to do it. If you have any questions about this hairstyle, make sure you leave your question in the question tab and let us know, and we'll be more than glad to help you out with any questions. We'll see you on the next video.